Well, let's take a look at what is happening in the markets, and we start off with the JSE. The local bourse has extended the gains that we did see last week. Quite a good track record for the JSE. Even though today it was greeted by mostly lower Asian markets, and this is amid inflation data that came out of China, with consumer inflation actually growing more than what markets had expected. But on the other side of the spectrum, producer inflation, they're showing a drop that was more than what analysts had anticipated over there. The all share are up more than 0.25% on the day. Those gains largely coming from the industrial 25 complex there, advancing almost 0.7%. Financial 15 with a gain of more than 0.4%, but bucking that overall trend with a decline there is the resources 10 complex, slumping more than 1%. Let's take a look at what is happening in the U.S. markets. And on that front, of course, investors are awaiting that April consumer inflation print that is coming out on Wednesday. Of course, that will be contributing to the decisions by the Fed for monetary policy going forward. But we are seeing some optimism to start off the week on that front. The S&P 500 relatively flat, just 0.06% above that flat line. The Dow flat, the tech-heavy Nasdaq really being the only one there with proper gains, up more than 0.25%. Let's take a look at what is happening across the Atlantic, and it seems that we are having a divergence of sentiment on that front, with a sea of red. FTSE 100 declining more than 0.1%. The CAC 40 slumping more than 0.1%, and the DAX there edging lower by almost 0.1%. Let's take a look at what is happening on the currency scene, and we start off with how the rand is doing against some of the major currencies. Quite some strength coming through to the rand. We haven't seen it at these levels in a while. At 18 rand 35 against the US dollar, at 23 rand 4 cents against the pound, and at 19 rand 77 against the euro. Let's check in on how the other currency pairs are doing, starting off with the euro dollar at 1.07, pound dollar at 1.25, and the yen just below 156 against the US dollar.